So if you've been doing the math and keeping up with everything that's happening, you have probably come to realize that yes, Venom now is part of the MCU. Although it doesn't seem like the Marvel Cinematic Universe wanted it this way, this is the way things are now. And it doesn't look like they're going to change anytime soon, so let's talk about what does this mean for the future of Venom and retroactively Venom 1. So when it came to Venom 1, there was a few interesting pieces in there. Right from the get-go, when they announced that film, you know, there was the whole press conference that happened. Kevin Feige was there, Amy Pascal was there. They were talking about the fact that Spider-Man Homecoming was coming to the MCU. So that's all the way back when. And Venom was brought up. And Amy Pascal said it's adjacent to the MCU. Now, I already did a video on that, how it's adjacent and what does that mean. And I'm still sticking by what I said there. Marvel Cinematic Universe, the MCU core, is not really going to acknowledge the existence of all these Venomverse things happening. But the Venomverse, with now Spider-Man and Morbius and Venom, is going to acknowledge the MCU events, like the Netflix shows. So with that in mind, Venom is now a core member of the MCU. That film exists. And if you really think about it, the film was specifically placed out of New York for that particular reason. It was systematically by Sony decided that they didn't want to reference any of the things that were happening in the other universe just so they could get to this point. And whatever happened with the recent contract negotiations and everything between Sony and the likes of Disney, Marvel Studios, clearly was able to keep Spider-Man in the MCU for 2 more appearances, 1 standalone film, 1 team-up film, means that they've given more freedom to Sony to be able to do what they want with these characters. Hence, the addition of Adrian Toomes, aka the Vulture, connecting the 2 universes even closer together. And of course the mention of Spider-Man, which recent rumors from pretty frequent scoopers and very reliable sources are saying that was added during a course of reshoots that happened late in the year. Again, that would be post-negotiations, which could also explain the discrepancy with the whole Spider-Man thing being the Raimi version and everything, because they were just kind of scrambling to get it done in time. Again, so it puts it in an interesting position because Venom, being part of the MCU, is something interesting considering the events and timing and things that are happening in that film are never reflected in the MCU. But going down the road, and now that they're currently shooting Venom 2, and the fact that they're in negotiations with Tom Holland to appear in that film, it pretty much tells you the direction you're going in. Whether we like it or not, retroactively Venom 1 is part of the MCU, Venom 2 will be part of the MCU just like Morbius is, and their future is inevitably looking like the Sinister Six team-up. Now, how they handle that and what the ultimate plan is remains to be seen, but the pieces are all there. Now they just gotta make sure that the board doesn't fall apart. And we just gotta sit here and hope it doesn't, and hope it's for the best, because realistically, the Marvel Universe just grew even further. And if you really think about it, Kevin Feige said the multiverse exists, so who knows what's gonna happen, and Spider-Man can travel through it. So maybe down the road, they'll explain how all of this makes sense, and maybe it's part of some bigger, grander scheme of things in the multiverse.